Hey guys, welcome to my third podcast of Add Me to the Mix. And if you guys were to ask me how much sleep I got, I would say none, because I'm running off of no sleep really. Well, I got an hour of sleep, but it wasn't really sleep because I do this thing where I close my eyes and force myself to sleep, but it's not like really sleeping. I'm just sort of just laying there with my eyes closed. So I'm running off of no sleep. It's been like this for the past few days, because I don't know what's going on. I think it's just maybe I'm excited for something. I don't know. I just cannot sleep. So instead of sleeping, because I'm going on a trip, I'm going back to Cali, but this time with my family, and I packed. And not only did I pack, but I cleaned my room. So I'm in my new setup as I record this. By setup, I mean my sponsors, aka my mom and dad. I call them my sponsors when they buy me something, but my sponsors bought me a desk, and now I'm in the closet with the curtains closed. That's my setup when I talk about setup. I love calling my friends my sponsors. My sponsors. It's so funny because I'm like, hey, can you buy me this? Can you sponsor me and give me this? And they will because well, they just want to support me and be my sponsors. So I'm on a new desk they got that I had to build. That was a pain in the ass to build. I lost a few screws. I found random screws. I at one point I built it wrong. Same with the clothing rack I built. I built it wrong, and then people were like, "Just read the instructions." And I read the instructions, and well, guess what? I built it wrong. So then I built it right, and then I needed a break for a day. And then I came back. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So I built it before my trip. So I'm all packed, ready for my trip. Everything's built, and you know what? Let's get started with this new episode. I did the same thing I did last week by finding a subject for this week. I went through my DMs and comments and to figure out and get an idea of what you guys wanted to hear. And once again, a handful of people said school experience. Personally, I think my school experience is pretty average. Like, we all had our fair share of bullies. I cried, I laughed, I had good times, bad times, I won some and I lost some. But I think I'm gonna just go into either talking about it as a group as a whole, or like K through fourth grade, or something like that, or I'm gonna just say specific stories about my school experience that when I've told other people in the past, they were like, "Really? No way! That actually happened? What?" I'm like, "Yeah. Well, I'm being serious. It did happen." So I either might do that. I don't know. I haven't decided because I just do this, like I said, I just do this thing. I grab a mic, get a subject, and I just figure it out as we go. So now, I guess let's just get started with this. From the start, I was always bullied. Not like a little teasing around and like kids saying stuff every once in a while. K through fourth grade, actually, specifically. I was also I was physically bullied and verbally bullied. I was more physically bullied than verbally bullied. There was a girl that she just had something against me. She probably had something going on, to be honest. And she would just start beating me, I guess. I was like a little punching bag. She would push me off the slides and all that. She would get me on the ground and just start kicking me. But that would be during class session, during actual school hours. But then after school hours, I was put into kids club because my parents had a job, so they had to put me in somewhere to watch me in the meantime. So I was in kids club, and she would do that during school hours. But every year and until fourth grade, there was these group of boys, and I know these group of boys because they ended up they graduated at the same high school I graduated. I've seen them grown up, all of that. And let me just tell you, Karma's a bitch. By that I mean they got shit talked to, like they were the kind of the class joke, I guess. I don't know, that's bad to say, but it's true. But whatever. You win some and you lose some. And I definitely lost because they would push me around on the playground. Like, one kid would start talking to me, push me, and then the other kids would come from behind me. Like, for one, imagine a movie and a kid is laying on the ground and you have five boys just kicking you on the floor and hitting you. That was me. They would try to Reggie me. At one point, I think one of them tried to kick my head into a pole, but instead it hit this sand thing. And I was so mad that day. I went home crying, and my mom drove back to the school and gave them a piece. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Aren't you supposed to that type of thing? And they just always did that up to fourth grade. I was always just an easy target. There was this game called Silent Gaga. I think it's called Silent Gaga. I'm pretty sure it's called Silent Gaga. And dodgeball during kids club, they would get into groups or like have their team, I guess, team up against me. So they have a reason to they could throw a ball at me as hard as they can and they can't get in trouble because that's what the game is. Like dodgeball, you have to throw a ball at someone. And at that age, I was like, what the fuck? Now I'm like, okay, yeah, just dodgeball. Like, suck it up at this age. But when you're doing this to like someone like me at 98 pounds, who's deaf and couldn't talk, and that's why they did it. It's because they couldn't talk. So they just didn't like how I talked. So they would like team up in dodgeball and lay Silent Gaga, and just throw the ball at me as hard as I can in the face or like my body somehow, just so I can cry or something. So that kind of sucked for a while. But then in fifth grade, I got kickball credits. By that I mean I made home runs. I was used to be picked last because no one thought I could kick. But then finally it was my turn to kick, and then everyone like would pick me on the team. Not trying to flex, but I know my shit about kickball. After getting my kickball credits, I going into middle school. I went to two middle schools. Um, I also did kindergarten twice. Fun fact: so I went to two elementary schools. And before you be like, how you get held back at kindergarten? Like, do you not know how to nap? Do you not know your shapes and colors? Like, what are you doing wrong? It's because I was deaf. Like, I told that story so many times. So I did twice. My first year was at this one elementary school, and I got bullied by the kids. And then the second one, I still got bullied up to fifth grade. But then when I started getting my kickball credits, everything started like ease out. It was just like a normal amount of people just saying stuff. And then middle school, my sixth grade year, I didn't really get bullied. People always said stuff, but I really got in my own head. Like, my mental health started showing, embracing. What is the word? Let's say embracing more. My mental health started like embracing more, I guess, because I started getting my own head. I got really insecure about talking or doing anything, and I was like, wow, no one even wants to talk to me. No one wants to be my friend. Plus, my home life wasn't the greatest throughout elementary school. But no family's perfect, so I was like always in my own head, like, well, no one even wants to be my friend. I hate this. I hate school, and I moved schools. The school I moved to was probably the best choice I made. I think it helped me be more outgoing and learn how to build a character, I guess, out of being bullied. Because being bullied, I was like in a shell. I wouldn't talk to no one. Why would I want to talk if it got me beat? So I wouldn't talk, and I wouldn't do anything. And I wore baggy pants, not baggy pants. I wore the same black pants because black makes you look skinnier. I always wore oversized hoodie so they didn't have to make fun of my weight. They could just make like I just didn't want to be picked on, so I would just hide everything. So the new middle school I went to was honestly the best choice. I don't know. I think so because I got more outgoing. I talked to people. I started to break the shell, getting character because being bullied builds character. I do think that some people should be bullied though because there's some people I'm like, wow, you're such a dick. I wish you got bullied. Or like you see somebody like, you should have just been bullied. And I'm not saying go bully people. I'm not saying bully is like the best answer because I don't support it. But sometimes you just have to bully a bully, I think. So I bully bullies so much, but like they bully me back. It's fine. And I guess you could say me getting bullied did build character because when you're sad and you get bullied and when you're fat, you become funny. You're just funny. So you just always have to you have to have a personality for people to like you because they can't like you off your looks. I didn't have like a party. I wasn't all like that. So if you want to be liked, you have to have a good personality, character building. So thanks to my bullies, I got character building. Yep. And a good bot. I'm pretty good looking now because I always have to. I mean, I think so at least. I always have to keep up with it because I get insecure that when my unibrow shows like a guy's gonna come out of nowhere like, ah! I'm like, whoa. So I do think that we should bully bullies. I stand by that. Unless that's bad to say, but I don't know how to explain it. Like, I will talk shit to someone who's talking shit to someone who doesn't deserve it. Does that make sense? Like, if someone's being rude to someone else who doesn't deserve it and didn't do anything, I'm like, dude, well, guess what? You're stupid. That type of thing. And middle school, I think in 8th grade really boosted. You know, I got the kissing disease. I got a kissing disease, and I didn't have nowhere to kiss. This is in 6th grade. No, 7th grade? How do I get a kissing disease? Not disease. Kissing sickness. Is it kissing disease? I don't know what's it called. The mono. So the kissing disease or whatever. How do I get that? And I wasn't kissing no one. Who am I gonna kiss? Who wanted to kiss me? I had messed up teeth. I had a slight mustache growing faster than any guy in my grade had grown, and I didn't talk. Like, who was kissing me? I think it's because I shared drinks with my few friends that I did have. But still, how did I get the kissing disease? And I was like, well, look at my mom knew. Like, my family just knew I wasn't, like, kissing no one. Because, once again, who am I going to kiss? So it was easy for me. Yeah, I don't know how I got it. I just did. But it's middle school. I guess it happens every once in a while. And so after I got the kissing disease covered up, I transferred to this new middle school. And I already knew some of the kids there. Like, I grew up with them. I felt comfortable with them. And that middle school, like I said, really got me out of my shell. And I'm so grateful I went. Even though, like, things, like, some things were bad and good, I'm so grateful I went. Because it got me out of my shell. And it also made me $40. Let me tell you that story. So, the way I made $40 was one time with my friend. He's so funny. Him and I were really close. We used to ditch school just to go to, like, different Goodwills. One time we went to Scottsdale just for Retzel Pretzel. Ooh, my mom's gonna listen to this. Fuck. Okay, whatever. I'm not in middle school anymore, but I did do that one time. We would, like, go to Retzel Pretzel in Scottsdale, and, like, we went to Goodwill. He was so funny. No, he was funny. And I made a joke because everyone started getting into, like, I said this in my last one. Everyone in 8th grade was getting introduced to marijuana, like weed, wax pens, or like street cards, not really wax pens, like probably candle wax or something, and ales and all that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Walgreens one day, because I was talking to him. I'm gonna go to Walgreens one day, and I'm gonna buy Rice Krispie treats, and I'm gonna sell them, saying, or like give them out as if they're edibles, just to see how people act. And he was like, I know how to make Rice Krispie treats. I was like, oh my god, really? Because I guess I just didn't know how, even though it's like a simple process now. I look at the recipe. And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, make Fruity Pebble flavored ones so we could give them out to people. And he's like, let's sell them. I said, okay. We sold it. He made the Rice Krispie treats. We came back one day to school with this Rice Krispie. And he wrapped it up to make it look like a real edible. Like saran wrap and everything. Like in the movies. And there's this place called Chiba Hut that does it. Like it's like a weed or joint name. Just like it's based off like weed. Like it's all based off different names of weed, and yeah, they do it too. So we were like, oh my god, cool. We went to school, and this one girl was like, I want to try edibles. I think that's what she said, because she was like always wanted to do. I think she ended up doing coke too, but that's a different. I don't know that story. That's just what I hear, and I was like, well, I'll give you some edibles, but you can't tell no one. He was like, yeah, I don't tell no one, okay? So we sold it for $40, $20 each. And this is in full style when she bought it. And then she was eating it, or she ate it, and she was like, guys, going to like telling them, I just had an edible. I just ate an edible at school. Oh my god, what am I doing? And then everyone was like, you're so silly. Oh my god, what are you doing? Why are you so crazy? Are you gonna be okay? Oh my god, why would you do that? And then the day goes on, and I know for your first time or something, like edibles can like last that long, but they should have lost like a whole school day, because by 6th hour we had an art class together, and she was like laughing at everything the teacher said. I was like, well, it's not even funny. And then she was just kind of being like, like all the time. And then she kept acting like she was tripping, falling asleep, acting like she was hungry, like being high, but like a really bad version. So everyone's like, oh my god, whispering to each other, do you know is high right now. You know she ate an edible. Can you believe she ate an edible? And they'll go, I can't believe you ate an edible. What is it like? How do you feel? And she's like, I'm so high. I don't know what to do. It's just so funny. I'm so hungry. I was like, I went up to her, I was like, are you okay? Did I give you too much? Are you mad at me? She's like, no. I'm just so high. I just ate the whole thing. I was like, you're not supposed to eat the whole thing. She's like, I know. I'm just so, why am I so funny? I was like, you're not funny. And then she acted high. And that whole day, my friend and I knew she wasn't even high. The only thing she was high off of was a sugar rush. She was on a sugar high. And then she crashed because of all the sugar we put in, or he put with the marshmallows and stuff. She wasn't high, but we made $40 out of it. So my advice to anyone in 7th and 8th grade, you want money to go to the mall or something? Make fake edibles and sell them. People would buy them. Anyone's going to want to eat edibles for some school credits. I mean, I did. I wanted to do everything for some school credits. So I would ditch, and I would smoke. I would be like, oh my god, yeah, I would do it. I'm like, yeah, I'll hit it. I'll be like, yeah, I'll go with you. Knowing damn well I'm only doing it for some school credits. I mean, absolutely nothing now, but you win some and you lose some. I won some and I lost some. I'm winning now. You know what I mean? Not really. Don't really do anything with my day. But here's my new hobby, so I guess I am winning. And then, oh my god, I have another story about 8th grade. Do you guys remember how I told you I would get bullied? It was like 5 minutes ago. I told you guys about my whole bullied experience. Middle school, 8th grade, bullying from students wasn't as bad. By that, I mean, everywhere you're going to go, you're going to always have someone who doesn't like you, who's always going to say something. So that's how it was. It's like, okay, well, you don't like me and I don't know what you want me to do about it, because it's just that one person. But you know who did bully me? The teacher. And I'm going to name drop her only because, one, it's not like she did anything beneficial. Two, she's not a teacher. Three, her name is so common that you guys could think I'd talk about anyone unless you're in that class of school. Because it was like, she did it to other people. I don't know. I think she did it to another person in a grade below me after I left to high school because my brother still went to middle school. She's like, yeah, she got forced to retire. She had too many complaints about how she was bullying kids. And it finally proved my point. Either way, but in middle school, I had my English teacher, Miss Smith. She had something against me since the first. I really do think she was racist or she just didn't like how I talked. I don't think she was racist though. I just don't think she liked how I talked. So we were first day of school. I walk into class and my personality in middle school was like in 8th grade. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" Talking to everyone and all the teachers. And then I walked into class. I was like, "Hey," and then she said, "Sit down." And her voice sounded like really evil and old because she retired at one point. She should have just stayed retired, but I told her that too. That's a different story. That's part of the story. And she always had something against me. She was always picking on me. Like across the other side of the room, I was sitting right next to her on a desk, not talking and anything. The other class side would be yelling and all that, throwing shit, and she'd be like, Trinity, go to eyesight. I was like, I didn't say anything. She'd be like, go eyesight. I'm like, okay. So we just go to eyesight. Like every day I went to eyesight. To the point where my mom was like, why are you talking in class? It was like, no. But once again, are you going to believe that your middle school age daughter isn't talking in class? No. I wouldn't. Like, she didn't, like, I got in trouble for it constantly. I got grounded for it because she would send emails to my mom, talk about how disruptive I am, how I got into eyesight, how I can't stop talking, all of this. And she only just picked on me. Everyone in the class can do anything, but I'm the one that got picked on. And at one point, she always also, two teachers, I'll tell you the next teacher later, she would just like mock everything I say. And she called on me for a warm-up one morning. And she expected me to get it wrong. Like she wanted me to get it wrong. That's why she called on me. Because I didn't raise my hand. I wasn't talking. She called on me because she wanted me to get it wrong. Because she said, Trinity, what's the answer to number 3? And I was like, oh, it's this. And then she was like, wow, thanks to everyone who gave Trinity the answer. I was like, I did it myself. What the heck? Don't do all that. Don't say someone gave me the answer and I did it myself. And then you know what I said? I said, right afterwards, I was like, I did it oh my god, she still makes me mad. I said, I did did the one by myself, thank you very much. But thanks to whoever gave you your teaching degree. And she's like, Trinity, ISI, don't disrespect me. Go to ISI right now. So I did because, well, she was being the way she was. And then going into ISI, these one teacher named, I'm not going to say her name because I love her. And I don't want her to, like, I don't know, respect. I guess I just didn't ask her. I think her name was Miss White, to be honest. I don't remember. She was my English teacher for 7th grade when I first moved. And then she ended up being, like, the sponsor or something like that for our 8th grade pod. And she talked to me. She was like, what's going on? I was like, Miss Smith has something against me. And she was like, well, what are you talking? I was like, I talk how I talk with every class. And you could ask them. It's not that bad. Like, when they tell me to stop, I stop. But she just sends me out. And I don't even be talking. And then the ISI teachers called my mom because I went to ISI, so they always have to call your mom. My English teacher, she sent an email to my mom saying I was being rude and disrespectful for no reason with a foul mouth, I think it was. And then Miss White, she was on my side. Because we had a soccer game. I had a soccer game and she still let me play. She's like, okay, I'm going to let this slide. I said, okay. She's like, I don't want to see you there. I see you here again. And I was there again because Miss Smith would, oh yeah, ISI is also in-school suspension, I guess, is the best. Yeah, in-school suspension. So if you go to ISI, there's nothing in the room besides desk and plain walls. And you're not allowed to, like, talk, do homework, and I think you could do homework, but you're not allowed to talk or anything. So it's just you and a desk, just no talking, anything. Maybe doing a few homework of that. And she will always send me to ISI for no reason. It's like, I'm not even talking. You just have something against me. And one time I called her a teacher, she was like, it's Miss Smith for you. I was like, okay, calm down, Miss Smith. So then I ended up proving to my mom, and the teacher was like, no, I'm not being a bad student and being disrespectful. She's just have something against me. And then I ended up proving it to them, but besides the point. And then I ended up just getting moved classes as a whole. Like, she kicked me out of the class, so I went to a different English teacher class. I was like, okay, whatever. And you know, she had the audacity. So the day I moved, kids were giving her, like, making comments still about how she made me move classes and kept sending me out. So while I was walking, because she's right next to my social studies class, she pulled me to the side. She's like, Trinity, can we talk? It's like, okay. So she was like, a few students have been making comments to me about you moving classes. Can you tell them to stop being rude to me? It's uncomfortable, please. I was like, I'm not making them do it. She was like, but you are leading it because you're the one who moved classes. I was like, you kicked me out of your class because you had something against me. She's like, okay, so do we have a deal? You're going to talk to them? And I said, no. And then I went to social studies class because I'm not going to be late because of her. And it's not my problem when students say. Students are going to say everything and anything if you're going to be teaching the way you did. You didn't even teach. You just bullied. Either way, besides the point, I left middle school. I had new teachers. Life goes on. But then, there was another teacher the exact same way. Just a heads up, if you hear my mom yelling in Spanish, I'm sorry. I probably can't remove it because sometimes I can't remove it depending how, like, loud it is and all that. But I know she's screaming on the phone because she's just like me. When she's on the phone, she screams. And right now she's screaming in Spanish because she's talking to someone in Spanish. And she's screaming. So you're most likely going to hear her because she's like, Hola, ¿cómo estás? That's, sorry if I just, like, I don't know why I screamed in the mic. But that's how she is. So if you hear her, please just go on with life. And now I had a teacher, I thought that was, like, the only time I was experienced that, whatever. My freshman year, my math teacher, and I am going to name drop her because she was the worst one. Her name is Miss Pollack. She's also very old, and I think she retired. At least she should have retired. And she hated me. She hated me and hated my speech impediment. She didn't believe it's real. And the fact I was deaf, she didn't think it was real. One thing, though, she would send emails, just like background stories. She sent emails and all that to my mom. And my mom was like, no, I just know this is app, like, thinking I'm using it as an excuse. I was like, no, she has something against me. And so basically, I was she hated me the way I talked. Like, whenever I talked, she would always correct me or be like, no, it's like, so let's say I say bored or like my name, she'd be like, no, it's Trinity. Like, correcting me as in being like a speech therapist in front of the whole class. She would give me random quizzes out of nowhere. Like, after I finished one test, she'd be like, oh, you have this. I was like, what? And she always made comments about me being deaf or like having a speech impediment. She sent me out of the class a few times because I would just, I wouldn't even be talking. She would just send me out. I'm like, okay, whatever. One time after my fight, I was suspended, and when I was suspended, okay, she emailed my mom. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was when I was suspended. I don't know. She emailed my mom saying I was talking in class and stuff. But whether I was suspended or I missed school, or I wasn't even talking, okay? Because I wasn't at school. I just wasn't. And then, I don't know when my mom started believing me that I wasn't talking in class, but she kept, like, mocking me and repeatedly telling me how to pronounce things. I would ask for help in class because I was failing, or I was, like, almost failing. I was like, hey, I need help with class. Like, can you help me? Or ask a question. Like, she would just ignore me. Like, my hand would be the only one raised, and she'll just be like, okay, now do your homework. So I was like, what? I have a question. And then there's been a few times, like, she always told me I wasn't going to graduate either. She said I never had enough credits, that if I don't pass the class, I won't have enough credits to graduate, and that I don't have the how to say, the smart, I'm not intelligent enough to graduate. It's like, what the heck, well, have you graduated? I told her one time, I said, if you were able to graduate, I can too, because she was being mean. So she always sent me out of class specifically for how I just think it's how I talked, because I would say anything, and she'll just kick me out. She'll make me sit in the staircase, which I'm okay with, because it's better than being in the class. Well, when I ask a question, she's not going to help me. But my mom, my brother, like quite a few people that was over exaggerating, that she always picked on me. And I was like, hey, can I sit on this side of the room, closer to your desk or where you teach? Because I can't hear you in the back. Because I physically cannot hear you in the back. So you know what she said? She put me all the way in the back. Like the farthest in the back that you could go in the corner. I was like, what? And then a few times I was like, hey, I can't see and I can't hear. Is it okay if I just sit in the front? Like, can you put me in the front? I'm asking to be put in the front so I can hear you and see. She's like, no, go back to your desk. It's not that hard. I was like, oh, okay. So keep that in mind too for this part, because after I left, I ended up passing with the 60%. And when she graded my test, she was like, wow, I'm surprised. I was like, oh, okay. So then, whatever, I don't have to take that class again. I saw sophomore year. But then my brother, who is extremely smart, he doesn't have to study for anything, and he will pass any test. He's like a walking Wikipedia or Encyclopedia. I don't know how it goes, but he's just so smart. It pisses me off sometimes though, because I'd be talking to my mom and I'd be like, hey mom, what's this? I'd be like, my dad, like, what does this mean? How do you do this? And he'd be like, well, this is how. I'm like, did I ask you? Even though he's right, it would just make me mad that he knew everything. And it made me mad that no matter how much I studied for a test, I would always fail. But he wouldn't even lift a book and he would pass. Like one time he had he didn't touch his backpack so long that he had a rotten banana in there. That's how smart he is. Back to the story. So he was so smart, and he ended up getting Miss Pollack as his teacher too for Algebra 1. And he started realizing that I wasn't over-exaggerating about how she was picking on me, because she loved him. He was a white New York Yankee fan who was extremely smart, passed every test. I don't even think he did his homework. He was just so smart. Like, he always passed his tests. He just knew, and he loved the Yankees. Like, looks like her son type thing. And she loved Thrice. She didn't know that we were related for a while. And he said that she made comments like saying, oh, my best friend was also in this class. Well, if you're deaf, tell me so I can sit you on the right side of the room so your mom doesn't have to email me. I'm like, and I wasn't even in that class. I was like, dude, I did tell you, first of all. And she just always made comments about my speech impediment and being deaf to him, to the class. Because I think she had some weird obsession with me. I was like, bro, I'm not even in your class anymore. She ended up retiring after that year. Good. Because it's not like she was teaching people. She was just talking crap about how I couldn't hear on one side of the room, and she still sat me there, and she sent emails when I wasn't even at school about talking. And when I came back from my suspension, because I emailed on my teachers like, hey, can you put all the notes I missed and let me know of any tests I missed? Let me know all of that so when I come back I can be prepared and get ready to take the test. She didn't send me an email. She put a homework packet in the front, but she never sent me an email about no tests or anything. So I was like, okay, whatever. I go back to school. The first week we had a test. I did it because I was there for that unit that Monday. We started a new unit. Friday we took the test. I took it, taking my sweet time, thinking I was like, okay, well, I only have one test to take right now. And that's all I worry about. So I'm not going to rush. 5 minutes later in the class, she hands me a paper. Like, something like you find off like Google or something that she just printed. Saying, well, since you took so long on this test, you're going to have only 5 minutes to take this test. And if you don't take this right now, you're going to have a 0 in the grade book. And I said, I emailed you about my test. Why didn't you tell me about it? She was like, well, you shouldn't have been suspended. I was like, what? So I took the paper, crumbled it up, and threw it in her trash can and walked out because you are not going to make me feel bad for taking my time on a unit test when you want to give me a little quiz you found on Google right now that you just pulled out of your ass. So yeah, she's retired now. All my other teachers love me. My mom ended up believing me, even though I got grounded for some stuff. Because they would be like, well, she's disrupted. I'm like, well, I'm not even talking. But they had to ground me because, once again, at my age, it's most likely the student talking, not the teacher. But I ended up being right. My gut feelings were always right. They're always right. Because I think I'm a witch. Not like literally a witch. But sometimes I think it's just my gut feeling. But people in my culture say it's like your Mexican third eye. Like you just know. And I just be knowing stuff. And I knew about Miss Smith and Miss Pollack. I knew that they were a pain in the ass and hated me. And especially Miss Pollack probably forgot that she's a math teacher, not a speech therapist. So there's no reason. Like one time I said Harvard wrong. She's like, no, it's Harvard. Well, I can't say it because I couldn't say it the first time. And she kept saying that. I was like, so the whole class looked at me and I was like, are you serious? I didn't say anything in real person, but I was like, why is Siri on right now? Oh, I thought I said Siri. Serious was Siri. That's why she came on. But then I was like, I didn't say it. I just sat there and turned red because the whole class was looking at me. I was like, oh. And you know what's crazy enough? The girl who I ended up beating, the one I was like, is it in your water bottle? And the one I got in a fight with, she was like best friends with Miss Pollack. So of course they were. They have a lot in common. They're a pain in my ass. After my freshman year of high school, it was kind of just literally just regular school for like a student, normal experiences. But one time during a soccer game, this is what I was told from like picking up pieces and pieces because I do not remember really what happened. But I was in a soccer game because I used to play school soccer. And when I went to go make a save, the ball hit my right, what's it called, that eye spot, like in the head, but right where my temple, right in the right side of my temple. And it hit me and I fell to the ground. That concussion was so bad. I ended up being out for like months, weeks wise, like I always needed other people to help me with stuff, like as simple as walking to the bathroom, giving me food, all of that. And then I couldn't open my right eye because it was just stuck, like it was like it was bruised almost. And I kept seeing like almost double. So I had to go through this concussion therapy cycle where one room was speech for your concussion, because they brought my speech pretty bad again. Well, not like it was any better, but my eyesight, because my eyesight got bad, memory, balance, coordination, all of that. And I had to go through all of that because it was so bad, and I was out for months in school. I didn't get better and ready till after COVID. I think I was fully ready to go back into it because, so when my concussion, I was ready to go back to school. I had a really bad migraine, causing me to leave school early because I was on the ground with like a pounding head, crying because I don't know what happened, but it was like a burning sensation going all around my head. I couldn't think. I couldn't feel my body. It was just like a burning, painful thing. I couldn't feel my body. I ended up going to the nurse. The nurse had to escort me on a the security had to escort me to the nurse, whatever. And then we never went back to school after that because it was spring break. So not till a year later. And my teacher, we had a meeting like, hey, how are we gonna help Trinity pass so she doesn't get fall back? She can't really do a lot. And one of my teachers were like, Miss Bart, she was like, that Trinity has to write these essays? Or she's gonna have to repeat my class. Like, there's no way she's gonna get caught up and do this. Joke's on that bitch, because you wanna know why? Sorry, I'm cussing a lot today. But you know why joke's on that bitch? Because they were forced to give me the grades for my first quarter of my first semester. My first semester, because of COVID, like they did it with everyone. So guess who passed? I did. I passed. And guess who didn't have to repeat? I didn't. I didn't have to repeat because I passed. And I think by senior year, I ended up doing student council though. So I did student council for a while, but I got fully back and able to like have coordination. My eye vision was somewhat normal. I still have eye problems. I still get headaches. Sometimes I get really tired. You can see my eye just like my one eye shutting. So senior year was fine. Oh my god, senior year was this year. Oh my god. I forgot I graduated. That's so crazy. If like I know I graduated, but sometimes I forget I graduated. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go back to school next year. And I'm like, nope, I'm actually not going back to my high school anymore because I graduated. That's so crazy. I can't believe senior year really did go by so fast. I always thought it was like cheesy that people said these next 4 years are gonna go by fast. I was like, okay. And I didn't realize it did till now. Till right now. Till I'm sitting here right now. That's so crazy. I'm not gonna go back. Cool. Oh, fuck. I need to pick my classes for my next school year at college then. Oh, shizzle nuts. Okay, I'll do that. I am so excited for this trip. At first, I wasn't gonna go because I just came back from Cali. I didn't request it off at work, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just not gonna go. But then when I love my mom's so funny. I just wanna know, like, when I talk about my mom or my dad, I love my parents. We have a really good relationship. So when I say stuff, it's like, that's just how we are to each other. So people be like, why are they doing that? Or what's going on? It's just because we have that bond. Like, I love my parents, so like, that kind of messing around relationship. But I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I didn't get work, or I didn't request off work. I'm not gonna go on the trip. And she gave me the eye. Like, that eye, like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I felt so guilty because she kept saying she missed me and how I know. Because I haven't been on trips with her and my brother in a long time. And she was like, I just never see you anymore. You just never make time for me. I was like, oh, I feel so bad. So luckily my boss, I talked to him and he was so easy. They're always so easy. I love that family. They're so easy with it. He let me get requests off work. And then at first I didn't tell my mom because she was like, well, you just now make time for me. And I was like, ooh, just wait. So now she knows though, but I'm going on the trip. And I'm kind of excited actually because, well, I don't know. I've just been excited lately about something. Something that needs to, like, I don't know what I'm excited for because I just can't sleep. I think I'm just excited for the new day. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like anxiety or something? No. Adrenaline? Is that the word? Adrenaline? Maybe I need to start going to the gym. That's not gonna happen. But that's all we got for today's podcast episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it made sense. If it didn't make sense, then I hope you just hear me like mumbling, I guess. I got a credit card. If you guys want the credit card info, let me know. Just kidding. No, but I did get a credit card. I signed up for it and everything myself. I even put a deposit down for it. I don't know what a deposit means. I haven't really activated it, but I got a credit card, guys, so watch out. I might be buying your guys' houses. Might be stealing them houses, if you know what I mean. I mean, with my really good credit score. But that's all I got for today's episode. I'm gonna go. Probably go eat. Who knows? I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys heard me mumbling. And I hope this gets posted on time again. Not again, because last time I didn't get posted on time. But that's my school experience. And if I had advice for anyone, for any situation, I would just say, sell fake edibles. That's the best way to make money. Alright, bye guys.